The fans have checked out Maria, not from Real Madrid, from Spanish football itself. I'm looking at the comments and the mood isn't angry anymore. It's something worse. It's resigned.
And that's actually the more alarming signal, isn't it? Anger means you still care enough to fight. What we're seeing in the fan sentiment today is closer to exhaustion. And some of these people have been exhausted for a very long time.
There's a fan in the comments, 58 years old, who says he stopped betting on La Liga over 20 years ago, didn't watch football for 15 years, only followed the Champions League and never buys a newspaper. And his take is basically, nothing surprises me anymore.
And the thing is, that comment has 28 upvotes, so it's not one bitter guy. It's the representative voice of a significant chunk of the fan base right now. People are relating to that level of disengagement.
We've covered the referee corruption angle for 3 straight episodes now, and I was wondering when fans would move on, but they're not moving on. If anything, it's getting more philosophical. One fan wrote, and I'm translating, "I can't watch football in Spain anymore. And if I feel this demoralized, imagine what the players feel when nothing ever gets called." That's a different level of despair, Tio.
What's interesting is the framing has shifted slightly. It's less the referee in this specific match was corrupt, and more the entire ecosystem, journalists, the CTA, the league structure under Tebas, is rotten. One fan literally called for an investigation into which media outlets and journalists are on the league's payroll. That's a conspiracy theory, but it's one that a lot of people are nodding along to.
And then there's the Negreira case hanging over everything. Someone wrote, and I'm going to translate this because it deserves to be said clearly, "We are a disgrace as a country, everyone covering up the biggest scandal in the history of sport." Que barbaridad. The bitterness in that comment is off the charts.
There's also a fan who identified himself as Italian, been following Madrid since he was 7, and he said he used to think Serie A was the most corrupt league in the world. But after the Negreira case, La Liga has surpassed it. When an Italian football fan says your league is more corrupt than Serie A, Rafa, that is not a compliment.
Madre mia. And the CTA president, the head of the referees committee, actually admitted on the record this week that it was an error to assign Alberola for the Madrid versus Girona match and that the VAR intervention at Vallecas wasn't correct. That is a significant admission. But fans aren't celebrating it. They're treating it as further proof that the whole thing is being managed, not fixed.
Because an acknowledgement after the fact doesn't change the results. That's the core fan frustration. You can admit mistakes all you want. The table doesn't change. The points don't come back. And fans have been watching this pattern for years. Admission, no consequence, repeat.
Venga, let's shift to the Mbappé conversation because it has taken a genuinely wild turn in the comments and I cannot ignore it. Someone, and this is a real fan comment, wrote in all caps that the only coach who can handle Mbappé is Didier Deschamps because he's a World Cup winner with him and that no other coach can manage Kylian.
I saw that comment. The all caps delivery really adds something, doesn't it? But here's the thing. It's not completely insane as a theory. Deschamps did win a World Cup with Mbappé. He clearly has some kind of authority over him that club managers haven't been able to replicate. Valdano, this week, apparently ruled out several coaching candidates, and Deschamps was in the conversation. So the fans have arrived at a place the media is also circling.
But wait. The same comment also implies that Arbeloa is fundamentally doomed not because of tactics or squad management, but simply because he's not a World Cup winner. That's the logic. You need a specific credential to unlock Mbappé. It's like he's a video game character with a hidden stat requirement.
And look, the data from this season doesn't exactly disprove it. Another fan said something even harsher, that Mbappé only gets injured at Madrid, and with France he's always pletorico, full of energy and performing. That's a brutal observation. And it keeps coming up. It's not one person saying this.
The injury angle is genuinely maddening. There's a news piece out from Marca this week where Raul Varela, who I know divides opinion, says the medical staff should be the club's #1 priority right now. And the fans who are pushing the Mbappé is only injured at Madrid narrative are using the injury situation as a kind of evidence. Whether or not the medical staff is at fault, the pattern is undeniable, and fans have noticed.
And then there's the most pessimistic take of the week. Someone wrote that no coach will work as long as Mbappé is at the club, and that there are still 3 years of disappointment ahead. 3 years, Rafa. That's not a criticism, that's a sentence.
That comment had 12 upvotes, and honestly, I'd expect more. Because the frustration behind it is real. The feeling that the squad is being built around a player who either can't or won't fully commit to the project. Whether that's fair to Mbappé or not, that's what a significant part of the fan base believes right now.
And on the Vinicius side of that debate, there were a couple of comments today, though fewer than usual. One fan made the point that the whole "who should be doing the running" argument is misframed, because neither Mbappé nor Vinicius is Cristiano or Messi. Those guys didn't run either, but they produced at a level that justified it. The implication being, if you're not at that level, you can't ask for those privileges.
That's actually a sharp take. You earn the right to not press by scoring 50 goals a season. Someone else made the point, translate this one, take away his penalties and add them to Vinicius, which I think is a jab at Mbappé's goal tally being penalty inflated. The civil war continues, Tio.
It always continues. Let's talk about the Champions League corner of the comments, because it's smaller, but there's something interesting happening there. A few fans are still processing the Bayern exit, and one of them floated the idea of sending Mastantuono and Gonzalo Garcia on loan to develop. And then somehow this turned into a Nico Paz discussion. The future planning conversation has started, even while the season is still technically alive.
Which tells you something about where the mental energy of the fan base is, doesn't it? We're still playing La Liga, Espanyol is in 5 days, and fans are already in rebuild mode mentally. That's not optimism. That's people coping by looking forward because the present is too painful.
Although I'll say this, Thiago Pitarch is back training with the Castilla today, almost 3 months after his last appearance with them. That's a small piece of news, but it's the kind of thing that fans who care about the academy pipeline will clock. The future isn't entirely abstract.
And the Carvajal situation refuses to go away. There's a clip circulating from Movistar's El Día Después where Carvajal is apparently gesturing toward Trent Alexander-Arnold's performance, and there's also a moment where Arbeloa looks at Carvajal and, depending on who you ask, it's either a moment of mutual understanding or a very uncomfortable stare. Fans are split on what it means.
We covered the Arbeloa-Carvajal cold shoulder theory 2 episodes ago, and it clearly hasn't gone away. The fact that fans are still analyzing body language from TV footage tells you how much trust has been lost in official communication from the club. When you don't get straight answers, you read gestures. That's where we are.
So here's where the fanbase stands on this Tuesday morning, 4 days before Espanyol. Deeply cynical about the league, split on Mbappé's future, already half checked out mentally into the summer, and reading Arbeloa's facial expressions for clues. Hala Madrid, I suppose.
Hala Madrid indeed. We'll be back tomorrow morning with whatever new chaos the comments section has cooked up overnight. And knowing this fan base, it will be something. Don't touch that dial.